Morning, Ina. Is that your new face?
There's a mobile.
Baby, I see that they have launched avatars on Microsoft Mesh. I'm trying it out.
May we remain standing for silence, prayer, and meditation. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. Do it. Honorable members, good morning. May I have your attention, please, honorable members? I want to take this opportunity to allow the Speaker to address the House. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues, and thank you very much for an opportunity given to me to actually address the meeting. Myself, the Chief Whip, and other two members, we are in Tanzania, and I'm aware that the Deputy Speaker has submitted an apology, and the Deputy Chair will join the sitting late as he is gone to a doctor. But thank you very much. Honorable Malima will be the chair of the session, or the presiding officer of the session for today's meeting. We are all welcome. Let me acknowledge the presence of the Premier, MECs, members of the legislature, our guests, leaders of political parties. The Chief Whip has also joined virtually with me here in Tanzania. We are all welcome. We will be, in terms of the motion, we have a motion, an urgent motion that the Chief Whip will actually present for us to be able to go forward. But let me therefore hand over again to Honorable Malima to continue with the sitting. Thank you, Honorable Malima.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And good morning once more, honorable members, our distinguished guests in the gallery there, and welcome to this August sitting. Without much ado, can we move to and welcome to the House, Honorable Chair of Chairs. Announcement, I think we don't have announcement. Can we then move straight to the member statement in terms of Rule 81.1? But before that, I want to profusely apologize for the untimely delay and for the untimely inconvenience that you might have incurred as a direct ramification of the delay. And on the assumption that our apology is accepted, honorable members, can we then move straight to members' statement in terms of Rule 81, Sub-Rule 1. Honorable Dilange. Member Dilange.
I'm here. Good morning, Speaker, Deputy Speaker. Women's role in the economy is a celebration of Women's Day, an advocacy to achieve gender equality by 2030? Or is it a mockery of the freedom struggle of 1956, when thousands of women marched on this day to pay tribute to pioneers like Sissy, Zainab, Amina, and Charlotte Mazeki? I make this statement in the wake of the ever-increasing killing... of farmers countrywide. Fired by Julius Malema's inflammatory statements and resulting in a massacre of innocent people, especially women who are left destitute and at the mercy of a declining economy within the agricultural arena. We will celebrate this year under the theme Women's Socio-Economic Rights and Empowerment, Building Back Better for Women's Improved Resilience. The concept of generation equality is a global campaign and links to South Africa to global efforts to achieve gender equality by 2030. Will our efforts, however, succeed if criminals keep on targeting the poorest of the poor, especially in the rural areas, by not only eliminating their main source of income, but also impacting negatively on their livelihoods? Women are powerful economic drivers when they are meaningfully involved in the economy through the entrepreneurial activities and employment in decision-making roles. Let us not deny them that opportunity by crippling them and prevent them access to education, both financially and emotionally. And I quote here from Anais Nin, French activist, born in 1903. How wrong it is for a woman to expect the man to build the world she wants, rather than to create it herself. Evidence has shown in developed and developing economies
Honourable Member,
that
just
when more
hold
women
on.
join
Member
the labour
Dilange,
force,
Member
in
Dilange,
particular
just hold
become
on.
entrepreneurs, there is a rise in
Member
gross
Dilange.
domestic product.
Member Dilange, just hold on a bit. I think there is a point of order here. On what rule are you rising, ma'am? Is it Rule 89?
But Chair, I think it is important that you don't abuse the rules of the House. When one has requested to do a member statement, you must stick to a member statement which have got a stipulated time. But also if one wants to raise a motion, let that person submit a motion in time. And in this case, this I want to told. In this case, the member is actually is actually doing a motion as opposed to a member statement.
All right.
A1, number 89.
Okay. Thank you, Honourable Member. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honourable Member Dilange, please conclude your member statement. Don't tacitly raise a motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will conclude then. Let us as women therefore not succumb to blatant outcries of violence, crippling our economy, but rather rise up to the opportunities of equality and better livelihoods for all of us. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member Dilange. May I now call Honourable Member Hoffman?
This is the terrifying sound residents heard on Saturday.
Speaker, this is the sound that many residents in Gauteng has to endure, Rivilia under siege. Paralyzed with fear, never knowing when they will be the next victim. Voorsitter, dit terwyl baie politici beskerm word deur bloulig misdadigers met 'n badge. Politici wat sing kill the boer en shoot the kill, staan braaf agter hulle leiwagte. 'n Politicus wat dink om 'n streetwise stoet te verslind maak van hom 'n leeu. Speaker, many politicians are the cancer eating away out South Africa because they protect their colleagues, they protect them when they lie, they protect them when they steal. But we expect the people of South Africa
Honourable
to be
members,
law-abiding citizens.
Honourable
Today,
members,
I want to make it clear that the people won't
Honourable
rise
members,
up against these injustices. We cannot expect anything else.
Honorable members,
Dinge moet verander, anders sal daar niemand wegkruip vir wat kom nie. Gemeenskappe sal teen hulle politieke leiers opstaan en hulle sal draai soos wat die honger vererger.
honorable members, can you please behave
The ones
in an orderly
remembered
manner?
for allowing this disorder and bringing South Africa to their knees. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Can we please carry ourselves in a manner befitting of this very important house, please?
I'm telling you. Don't make promises you
Honorable
cannot keep.
Engelbrecht.
I promise you.
Honorable Engelbrecht.
You come in the dark, we go by the light.
Members, can you please behave in a very dignified way?
Acting Speaker, the City of Ekurhuleni is denying Kempton Park residents their right to a reliable supply of electricity. For at least 6 days, residents who receive electricity from the Spartan and Van Riebeek substations have only had 4 hours of electricity.
I don't have electricity for 2 weeks
Yesterday,
in Swan. 2 weeks.
the DA laid criminal
I don't have
charges
electricity
against the
for 2
city
weeks in
manager
Swan.
of Ekurhuleni,
2 weeks.
Imogen Mashashi, for failing in her duties to ensure that critical infrastructure like substations are properly maintained. We have also requested a full investigation to be launched into the alleged failure of the 66 kV cable, which is barely 5 months old. A whistleblower has alleged that the cables were not correctly installed and they've started melting. These allegations need to be urgently investigated. Our residents deserve a proper explanation for the cause of the continual electricity crisis in Kempton Park. A comprehensive state of infrastructure plan must be produced so that the province can assist in guiding the municipalities on maintenance plans. This can be used as a tool to determine when and where municipalities like Ekurhuleni need to spend money on the maintenance going forward. I thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable member. Honorable Mfikwe.
Thank you, Acting Chair. Good morning to everybody, honorable members and all the officials. Let us add to the many congratulatory messages that are going to our National Soccer Women's Soccer Team, our pride and joy, Banyana Banyana, for their historic performance that brought us some dignity and respect in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. Just 4 years ago, Honorable Chair, Banyana Banyana had gone without a single victory at their first ever participation at the FIFA Women's World Cup hosted in France. Banyana Banyana have not only displayed great talent on the field, but they have also shown great tenacity and grit in their marginal last-minute defeat to Sweden. House Chair, our heroines became the first South African senior national team in both male and female soccer to advance to the round of 16 at the World Cup. This is really worth celebrating. We join the millions of South Africans in calling for equal pay and equal benefits as their male counterparts in soccer. We support the call of a holistic approach to development and professionalizing of women's football in our country. We call upon corporate sponsors that they should be approached to fund this transformation agenda, which should include a professional women's league. We also wish to congratulate the SPAR Proteas for their heroic displays at the recent Netball World Cup held in Cape Town. Sithi manibonge igama lamakhosikazi. The future is indeed female. The girls have led the way.
Can the boys in rugby also follow? As we say, Happy Women's Month, and congratulate all our members, Chair, who were elected into the African National Congress Women's League Provincial Executive Committee. Malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member Mfikwe. Due to time constraints, I will only allow 5 member statements. The last one will be from Honourable Member Khadebe.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Bayalo abantu ngaphandle bafuna increase. Abasebenzi base legislature. Speaker Tanzania. Acting Speaker, since the COVID-19 pandemic.
You may proceed, Honourable Member.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been confronted with endless scandals of corruption and maladministration in our public hospital, with Tembisa Hospital leading the front pages where scandals are concerned. Last month, it was uncovered that Tembisa Hospital was facing a shortage in most chronic health medications, such as bipolar, high blood pressure, and epilepsy. Yet another scandal. Acting Speaker, it is worth mentioning that Tembisa Hospital has joined the long list of public hospitals that there are death traps and corruption havens. The hospital is constantly in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, for the issues of corruption, assassinations, poor patients' care, and now this. Nilala njani ebusuku knowing that your hospitals have become one of the most feared places for our people. Nilala njani ebusuku knowing that your negligent and greedy ways kill our people instead of healing them. So, logo nicima umlilo kulesa sibhedlela saseTembisa kodwa akhonto echangeayo. Abantu bethu bayafa every day, Speaker. The EFF is concerned at the dysfunctional state of this hospital. The MEC of Health explained that the medicine shortage was the result of late delivery from suppliers. However, we are concerned that there might be more to this matter than what the NEC has said, which would be the cause of these shortages of medication. We put it to you that these service providers are not paid on time. We can go a step further and say that the golden handshake perhaps did not favor those in charge. Furthermore, we are concerned that the measures being taken to address the shortage might not be adequate in addressing the root cause of this matter, as well as the impact the shortage will have on patients. Acting Speaker, the EFF calls on Health Committee to summon the MEC of Health as well as the board members, the board executive leadership of Tembisa Hospital to thoroughly investigate this matter, because experience has taught us that when it comes to such matters, you leave nothing to chance. Furthermore, we call on the department to abide by the constitutional obligation in seeing to it that the shortage is addressed and the patients received their medication. We still painfully remember how life of Babita Deokoran was sniffed out for exposing corruption in the Gauteng Health Department, particularly in Tembisa Hospital. We thus further beg you to do the right thing to bring those responsible for this shortage to account.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Member Masuleng, your member statement is duly deferred to the next sitting. Can we now go to statement by members of the Executive Council? I will now call upon Honourable Member Mzee Khumalo in terms of Rule 79, Sub-Rule 1, to address the House. Honourable MEC.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. In accordance with Rule 79, Sub-Rule 1, I, Mzee Khumalo, table the following member statement on national dialogue on coalition governments. On the 9th of August 2023, we will take time to pause and reflect on the continued contribution of women in the struggle to build our country. Our program as the African National Congress-led government will continue in a deliberate way to place women at the center of development. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate honorable members Faith Mazibuko and Teliswa Mgweba for being elected chairpersons and secretaries respectively of the ANC Women's League together with their collective. Malibongwe Igamala Mokosikazi. The implementation of the GPG elevated priority programs located in Tish, its impact will be measured on how they improve the condition of women in our province. It is for this reason, Acting Speaker, I assert that the struggle of women is elemental in building the national democratic society. As we plan to celebrate another year, we note the continued central role played by women in building a responsive and people-centered local government within the province. Much still must be done to finally achieve the 50% representation of women at local government sphere. It is a revolutionary duty because over the years, women have shown remarkable resilience in providing leadership in both public and private spaces. Local government is a critical space in which all programs designed through the guidance of the ANC manifesto commitments get implemented by its deployees. The space on which the TIS program is implemented at a local government level. Noting that in Gauteng, 1.8 million households are led by women, any instability at the level disproportionately impact on women, who are further constrained by the uneven equity in employment opportunity or pay parities. It is then in the best interest of our communities to have a stable local government, more so as it affects disproportionately women. Speaker, as COCTA, we welcome the effort by our Deputy President, His Excellency Paul Mashatile, to develop a sustainable framework to ensure a stable yet democratically elected local government. In the Freedom Charter, we state, the people shall govern, which simply gives agency to our people to periodically affirm their control on who at a particular moment will be given a responsibility to lead. It is for this reason that COCTA also strongly supports the framework which affirms the electoral majority by the people must be reflected in the constitution of the executive at local government level. Over the years, we have seen 1,229 political parties being registered at the local government level, which is good for the maturing democracy in our country. Hence, it will be important to develop an agreeable threshold framework to enable parties which truly represent the people to be at the local government. The proposed threshold is not done to curtail democracy, but to ensure that democracy reflects the true wishes of the people. The outcome of the national dialogue with little nuances have not differed much from the study which was undertaken by COCTA. Some of the key recommendations from COCTA are: develop a framework to regulate the period allowed to constitute council after election and drafting of coalition agreement, to ensure stability of the political leadership of council by limiting the number of motions of no confidence directed at the executive council, to embed the philosophy of the people shall govern with parties polling higher electoral approval, majority so to say, given the first opportunity to form the coalition. Speaker, COCTA not only believe the outcome of the national dialogue will bring stability to local government, but believe it will bring stability also on the administration of municipalities. Political parties are elected to serve the people, hence coalitions must not distract municipalities from that mandate. The selfishness that we have seen during the last vote of coalition did not bode well with our people. The ANC took heed to the counsel of Mayor Charlotte Maxeke when she said, I quote, "This work is not ourselves. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people. If you can rise, bring some with you." Hence, a close quote. Hence, by convening the national dialogue, we have amplified the voice of Mayor Maxeke. Let us indeed kill the spirit of self and ensure that local government truly serves our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kumalo. Can we now move to motion without notice in terms of Rule 120 on determination of the upper limit of salaries and allowances of premiers, members of the Executive Council, and members of the Provincial Legislature in relation to 2022/2023 financial year. Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Member, or is Deputy Chief Whip, are you the one who's presenting or the Chief Whip? Okay.
Is the chief whip online?
I'm not sure, but you may proceed. Is the chief whip online? I'm told that, just hold on a bit, Deputy Chief Whip. Chief Whip, are you online? Okay, it doesn't seem like he's online. You may proceed, Deputy Chief Whip, and sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay. Thank you, Acting Speaker. Motion without notice. I, Member T.E. Makakula, Deputy Chief Whip, ANC hereby tables the following resolution in terms of Rule 120. That this House resolves that 1, in terms of Section 6, subsection 1 of the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act 1998, Act number 20 of 1998, I hereby referred to as the Act, I hereby determine that the upper limit of salaries of the positions of office bearers in column 3 of Schedule 1 shall be set out in column 4 of Schedule 1 with effect from the 1st of April 2021, subject to the provisions of Section 6, subsection 2 to 8 of the Act and the terms and conditions set out herein. To the total remuneration package shall include the following elements. 2.1, a basic salary component equal to 60% of the total package, which constitutes the pensionable salary. 2.2, an amount of 120,000 per annum, which is an amount of which Section 8, subsection 1D of the Income Tax Act 1962 applies. This amount is included in the basic salary component. 2.3, an employer's pension fund benefit contribution equals to 22.5% of pensionable salary. And 2.4, a flexible portion for the remaining amount of the total remuneration. 3, notice number 67, published in the Government Gazette, number 46545 of the 14th June 2022, is hereby repealed. I so move. Acting Speaker, thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Makakula. Deputy Chief Whip. Any seconder? Is there any seconder? Honorable Sochaile?
Honorable Kanyile, I rise to second.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kanyile, and my profuse apology for that. The motion is duly adopted. Thank you. Giving a motion without notice in terms of Rule 121, can we go to the apologies? I wish to place on record the following apologies. Honorable Mpapa Kanyani has a doctor's appointment. He will join virtually after the appointment. Honorable Deputy Speaker and Tlagaza Manamela attending to party business. Honorable Member K. Tong is off sick. Honorable Member N. Khatebe is off sick. A planned member statement will be presented by Member Mdlankomo. Honorable L. Masilela will be attending to an urgent party deployment. And the first item on questions to Premier, it's questions to Premier for oral reply in terms of Rule 138. Yes, of the standing rules. Presiding officers, can you please call the member to read the first question to the Premier?
Before the first question, Honorable Malema, can I come in terms of that Rule 121?
No, it's understandable, and thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It's Honorable Member Bloom.
Mr. Acting Speaker, to the Honourable Premier. With regard to the 9 staff members of the Tembisa Hospital, which the Special Investigating Unit recommended be disciplined for irregularly awarding contracts to fraudulent companies, will the Premier please indicate, 1, why did the acting head of the Gauteng Health Department not act speedily to put them on precautionary suspension, as happened with the department's Chief Financial Officer and the Tembisa Hospital CEO? 2, why was the Gauteng Treasurer given the task of initiating discipline in this matter instead of the Gauteng Health Department? 3, why has the Premier's office not been involved in speeding up this matter? 4, what accounts for unreasonable delays in disciplining the 9 officials as the evidence is readily available in the SIU report which the Premier released in December last year? And 5, what action will be taken to ensure that all the SIU recommendations in this matter are speedily implemented, including their request for a presidential proclamation to extend their investigation? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. May I now call upon the Premier to reply to the member's question? Honourable Premier.
Thank you so much, Acting Speaker. Truly appreciate the opportunity, and thanks to Member Bloom for the question. In September 2022, the Office of the Premier and the Special Investigation Unit entered into a secondment agreement which intended to investigate the allegations of maladministration, fraud and corruption related to supply chain management processes at Tembisa Hospital under the Gauteng of Department of Health and Wellness. As reported by the late Ms. Babita Dokaren, at the beginning of 2022, the SIU subsequently submitted its forensic report, and it was released to members of society in mid-December 2022. The Office of the Premier is supporting the Gauteng Department of Health and Wellness to implement some of the recommendations of the final forensic investigation report. The Gauteng Department of Health and Wellness is expected to institute disciplinary action against other departmental officials responsible for the supply chain management processes related to this matter. The recommendations related to the disciplinary hearing of the Chief Financial Officer and the Chief Executive Officer at Tembisa Hospitals are managed by the Office of the Premier. This is part of an ongoing effort to gain a comprehensive sense of the efforts across departments in institutionalizing integrity, fighting corruption, as well as in ensuring that the recommendations of the forensic investigation reports are fully implemented accordingly. So to answer question 1 of Member Bloom, the implicated officials who are still within the department have eventually been put on precautionary suspension while the disciplinary hearings are being finalized. In terms of question 2, it is important to clarify that the Gauteng Provincial Treasury process took some time to assist the department. Hence, the Gauteng Department of Health and Wellness decided to appoint an external service provider to initiate the disciplinary processes. In terms of question 3, the Office of the Premier is actively involved in speeding up this matter by supporting the Gauteng Department of Health and tracking the implementation of all the recommendations of the final forensic investigation reports related to Tembisa Hospital. There are also quarterly reports submitted to the Gauteng Audit Committee and ongoing engagement with the respective member of the Executive Council as well as the acting HOD to ensure that all the recommendations are fully implemented. In terms to question 4, the disciplinary hearings are ongoing. The process might be viewed as slow. However, it is important to note that the Office of the Premier and the Gauteng Department of Health and Wellness always seek to adhere to the processes in line with the disciplinary code and procedures for the public service. This will assist to eliminate any possible complaints and unnecessary delays for not following proper procedures by the officials that are being currently disciplined. In terms of your last question, on the 23rd of 2023, I signed a letter of support for the presidential proclamation, which was addressed to our President, Mr. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. The signed letter of support was immediately sent to the Special Investigation Unit, which then forwarded the letter with the motivation for proclamation to the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development for onward submission to the President. Hence, the Special Investigation Unit is being continuously reminded to ensure that the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development fast-track their processes and ensure that all the necessary documents in this regard are finalized and submitted for the consideration of the President of the Republic of South Africa. You will recall that in the last 2-3 months, the SIU has had raids in the houses of those that are suspected of fraudulent activities. The joint raids occurred in some of the houses of the people that are implicated in the report, and we remain hopeful that this matter is still within the radar of the SIU. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Premier. Honourable Bloom, you want to pose a supplementary question or a short remark?
Thank you, Acting Speaker. To the Honourable Premier, can he, just to clarify, on what date were these officials actually suspended? That's very good news. I'm very pleased to hear it. And is there any anticipation on when they will actually face a disciplinary hearing? Because you are aware that the CEO of Tembisa Hospital and the CFO of the department, I think they're only finally getting to have their disciplinary hearing in this month, and we wouldn't want further delay. So I think it's very important that things are done properly, but it's also very important that things are done speedily and that we do see justice in this, especially for the family of the late Babita Deokaran. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Member Bloom. I can assure you this matter will not vanish from our radar. I'm personally monitoring this particular issue, and I'm glad you understand the need to balance the rights of those that are involved, as well as ensuring that this matter is speedily resolved. I'll get the exact date from the department on which the suspension letters were served, but I can assure you that this disciplinary hearing is proceeding. The witnesses are protected. There was an urgent need for us to also protect the witnesses, and they are provided with the necessary support so that this matter can be concluded. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you once more, Honourable Premier. Honourable members, may I please ask for indulgence that we go back to the motion without notice, which was tabled in terms of Rule 120. I should have asked as to all those who say, all those who agree with it say yes, and all those who are not in favour say no. The yeas have it. Thank you very much. Can we, honourable members, is there any one of you who may want to pose an additional supplementary question or make additional remark in terms of Rule 138, Sub-Rule 3? Okay, can we now move to the next question? Honourable Member Macheke.
Acting Speaker, it gives me a great pleasure to ask this question to the most dedicated, most committed Premier in South Africa, Premier Lesofie. Noting that when the Premier took office, in October 2022, he committed to fighting crime, vandalism and lawlessness, and further noting that the recent introduction of crime prevention wardens in line with Section 332 of the Criminal Procedural Act, Act number 51 of 1977. Can the Premier please indicate the following? What role are the Gauteng crime prevention wardens playing, and how does it complement the role of South African police services and the community police forums? And are the crime prevention wardens adequately equipped with crime-fighting tools that will aid them to fulfill their role. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member Macheke. May I now call upon the Premier to reply? Honourable Premier.
Thank you so much, Acting Chair. Truly appreciate the opportunity, and thank you so much, Member Macheke, for your kind words. It's truly appreciated. When we tabled the State of the Province Address 2023, we committed ourselves to unleashing all resources at our disposal to tackle crime. We did this, committed to the mantra of less talk and more work. In line with our elevated priorities, the vision of the provincial government is to realize a province where people feel free and they feel safe. This, we believe, will be achieved by ensuring the safety of Gauteng communities through innovative, proactive, and effective oversight over the province law enforcement agencies and enforcement of road traffic legislation, while empowering communities on crime prevention and safety promotion. In our first Cabinet Lekgotla, which we held shortly after assuming office, our Executive Council invited the Minister of Police, with whom we shared our plans as the Provincial Executive Council, to strengthen the fight against crime, vandalism, and lawlessness. We committed to the Minister that will move with speed to recruit 6,000 crime prevention wardens. The crime prevention wardens are what we refer to as force multiplier that works hand in hand with our law enforcement agencies and provide all the necessary support that is needed by our law enforcement agencies. This unit have long been dispersed in various communities and we are receiving positive response from our communities now that they see this crime prevention wardens as a way of protecting them against hooligans and also protecting them against criminals. In terms of your question, what role are the Gauteng prevention wardens playing and how does it complement the role of the South African police? We want to respond as follows. In terms of Section 205 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, SAPS is solely responsible for the combating of crime, and SAPS must be structured to function at national, provincial, and where appropriate at local spheres of government. The objectives of the SAPS, amongst others, are to prevent, combat, and investigate crime. The Gauteng province has 142 police stations that have been serviced by, by a total of 38,290 policemen and women, which include SAPS, JMPD, EMPD, TMPD, Gauteng Traffic Police, Rand West, Morafo, Mohali, Sidibeng, Mfuleni, Lesedi, and Midval officers. In total, we have a total number of close to 40,000 law enforcement agencies that need to police almost 16 million people. From these figures alone, it is quite clear that we needed an extra police force to supplement the low number of law enforcement agencies. It was within this perspective that we felt we needed to direct resources where policing is minimum, which is mainly happening in our townships, informal settlement, and our hostels. As a force multiplier, the crime prevention wardens have played a critical role in protecting our citizens and also ensuring that state-run events are also protected and those that are attending these events have the necessary support from our crime prevention wardens. The crime prevention wardens are deployed in the 361 wards across the 5 corridors of our province. The allocation of the wardens aims to ensure that in each of the wards attached to TISH, which is the Township Informal Settlement and Hostel areas, have an average of at least 17 crime prevention orders. The deployment will be extended to other areas identified as hotspots to augment the work of the law enforcement agencies in Gauteng. Through the addition of this new crime prevention ordinance, our law enforcement has received a major boost, an infusion of energy and manpower, especially that majority of these crime prevention orders are under the age of 35 years. They are fit, agile, and ready to combat to involve themselves in any action that it may be assigned to them by the law enforcement agencies. The role of the crime prevention orders is to intervene on crime and violence prevention operation in the 5 corridors of our province. This is key, as they are doing this by ensuring 1, police visibility at road level, 2, timely response to reported crimes, 3, interact with community structures immediately, 4, tackling lawlessness through heightened enforcement, 5, preventing incidents of land invasion, 6, preventing incidents of damage to public infrastructure, lastly, working with schools to provide the necessary support and response. Crime prevention wardens will also be expected to intervene with special operations crime and violence prevention in the corridors by providing law enforcement services on illegal occupation of land, in intervening in public order policing, and intervening on public transport crime prevention and ensuring the protection of infrastructure vandalism, especially cable theft and the vandalization of energy infrastructure that has harmed our energy distribution in our province. In answering question 2, are crime prevention wardens adequately equipped with crime fighting tools that will aid them to fulfill their role? The answer is yes. Having identified the fight against crime as an apex priority for the province, we have spared no effort to ensure that the crime prevention wardens and the Department of Community Safety are adequately resourced to join other law enforcement agencies in the province in the fight against crime and lawlessness. To this end, the Department of Community Safety's budget has increased significantly to 2,706,192,000 rands. Of this, the department has earmarked close to 1,491,177,000 rands to give effect to the elevated priorities that are aimed at building safer communities. This amount is being used for funding the new organogram structure as a result of the new 6,000 crime prevention wardens, the purchase of tools of trade for the crime prevention wardens, the training of the crime prevention wardens, the leasing of helicopters, the buying of drones, and the training of drone operator pilots, the introduction of e-panic buttons for our citizens, and also to ensure that each and every crime prevention warder and the team as a whole have transport that they can utilize in combating crime. This budget is a clear signal that we are prepared as the Gauteng Provincial Government to fight crime and to push back the frontiers of crime in our province. This budget is also ensuring that the crime prevention wardens are adequately equipped with crime-fighting tools, which is inclusive of helicopters, high-powered vehicles, push-to-talk devices, drones, an integrated command center, face recognition CCTVs, bulletproofs, rifles, pistols, handcuffs, uniforms, torches, and all other needed tools that will ensure that our crime prevention warders are safe and they can also unleash the necessary firepower to the criminals. As from the 1st of September, all our crime-fighting wardens will now be deployed for 24 hours, which simply means they will migrate from only patrolling during the day, but also to start patrolling even at night, so that our communities can feel the presence of our crime prevention wardens and our communities can feel safe at night where majority of these incidents takes place. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you once more, Honourable Premier. I now call upon Honourable Member Majeke to either pose a supplementary question or make a short remark. Honourable Majeke.
No, thank you very much, Acting Speaker. Let's welcome the response from the Premier. It's very clear that the Premier managed to respond to a very pertinent question that has been raised by those on the other side as to what legislation informs the appointment of the crime prevention wardens. I think it's very clear, Premier, that the wardens were appointed in line with an act of Parliament, and that we appreciate that you managed to respond to that particular question. And also it's very clear that the Premier also responded quite well in terms of the roles and the responsibilities of these crime prevention wardens. But I also want to really request the Premier to look into extending the work of the crime prevention wardens to also focus on the current situations that we are faced with in Rivali, as well as in Kagiso, Mogale City, in terms of the Zamazamas. Batho ba le ba ko Rivali le batho ba ko Kagiso le bone ke batho. So but deserve protection from the peace wardens. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Once again, Honorable Member Macheke, may I now call upon members if you want to make additional supplementary question or make a short remark. Honorable Member Ramulifo.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I rise on 138, subsection 9. Just want to check with the Premier with regard to the crime prevention aspect that based on the intergovernmental relations, as the Premier had information regarding the funded vacancies which are available at SAPS and the Metro Police throughout the entire province, just to assess and by when will those funded vacancies will be filled, or what interventions are being put in place so that when you're fighting crime, you fight it in a concerted effort, especially where you have got resources, but those resources not necessarily or fully utilized. If the Premier is in a position to know such information, and what are the interventions with it, all the metros, including SAPS, are doing to ensure that there's an alignment. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member Ramulifo. Honorable Member Mokwebo.
Thanks, our Chair. You can stay there forever. The Chair of today can stay there forever. In terms of Rule 138, subsection 9, I didn't hear the Premier speaking about the tools which Member Machega raised. I want to know which tools which these green beans have, and of which we need to be submitted with qualifications. Do they have firearms or donkey pili fela? Because they're dealing with a serious crime in the province. So it can be specific so that when we do oversight in our work as members of this House, we can even ask those questions from them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member Mkwem. Honorable Premier, please respond to the supplementary question and short remark.
Thank you so much, Acting Speaker. I will forgive Member Ramulifo because it's quite clear that he's preoccupied with his campaign to be the leader of the DA in Gauteng, that he didn't have time to write a new question about the number of vacant posts in the SAPS and within local government. Probably after the campaigning and elections, he will sit down and write a question. We'll be in a position to respond to that question because his question it's not related to the question that was asked by Member Macheke. Member Macheke, thank you so much for the guidance and advice. We'll indeed try to assist so that we can be in a position to support the communities of Reveli and other communities that are besieged by the Zamazama. Member Mkwebo, the following, I said it and I'll repeat, these are the tools of trade that have been utilized by our crime prevention orders. Helicopters, it's a tool of trade. High-powered vehicles, it's a tool of trade. Push-to-talk devices, it's a tool of trade. Drones, the tool of trade. An integrated command center, the tool of trade. Face recognition CCTVs, bulletproof vest, rifles, pistols, handcuffs, and torches. Those are the tools of trade that we have referred to. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Honorable members, let's maintain the discipline of the House.
Thanks. I'm done. Thanks, Acting Speaker.
Are you done, Honorable Premier?
Yes, I'm done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Can we now move to the next? Oh, can we now move to the next question by Honourable Member Albert?
Thank you, Acting Chair. Can the Premier indicate the following with regard to the training and appointment of crime prevention wardens? First question, what was the total budget spent so far on training the crime prevention wardens? In answering, provide a detailed breakdown of each line item for the whole project, setting out the amount spent as well as the service provider appointed. In each instance, also indicate from which budget this project expenditure was appropriated. 2. Who was appointed to provide training in the subjects of criminal law, criminal procedure, investigation and the practical application of these subjects in the field. In answering, provide a detailed breakdown on the course material and the authors of these course material as well as the instructors for these subjects. 3. How many more crime prevention wardens are yet to be trained and when will this take place? 4. Did the Premier liaise with the Metro Police in the 3 Gauteng metros before embarking on this project, and did they provide their consent to cooperate with the peace officers? If so, kindly disclose the official communications in this respect. And 5. Who will be liable in the event of any crime prevention warden acting in breach of his or her duties and the law which results in litigation, and are there mitigating processes in place in this regard? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member Alberts. I now call upon Honourable Premier to reply.
Thank you so much, Acting Speaker, and thank you so much, Member Alberts, for your question. You will recall in the State of the Province address, we indicated that fighting crime should be our apex priority. We should unleash all our resources at our disposal to tackle crime. To this end, we said we are increasing the budget of fighting crime from 750 million to multi-billion in the next 3 years. We did this inspired by the words, do it, you can't conquer if you don't do it, or if you don't attempt. This is what has propelled us to recruit 6,000 crime prevention wardens as part of strengthening our efforts in the fight against crime and improving the visibility and effectiveness of law enforcement in our respective communities. In responding to question 1 from Member Alberts, unfortunately, Member Alberts, you didn't indicate the specific time period of training because training is ongoing. Our units are in training as you're speaking to you now. The first cohort concluded their training on the 30th of April. The second cohort had their pass-out parade on the 4th of June. There is currently a targeted recruitment and training of CPW at unrepresentative wards, especially colored and white areas, inclusive of specialized training in firearm, illegal occupation of land, public order, police and protection, and also protecting of infrastructure. So it will be extremely difficult if you just say how much it costs training without specifying from which period until which period, because training is ongoing. So as soon as we get the necessary timelines from you, Member Alberts, we'll then give you the exact figures. In terms of question 2, who was appointed to provide training in the subjects of criminal law, criminal procedure, investigation, and practical application of this subject, the following institution provided the relevant training to all our crime prevention orders: Johannesburg Metro Police, Road Traffic Management Corporation, Tshwane Metro Police, and Ekurhuleni Metro Police. The training covers aspects of constitutional law, law of evidence, Criminal Procedure Act, and criminal law, amongst others. In terms of question 3, when you asked how many more crime prevention wardens are yet to be trained and when will this take place, the province is currently engaged in targeted recruitment of 2,356 new crime prevention wardens from unrepresented TISH wards such as hostels, colored, and Indian communities. Upon the finalization of employment pre-screening and induction process, a formal training is envisaged to commence on the 1st of September 2023. In terms of question 4, you asked, did the Premier liaise with the Metro Police in the 3 Gauteng metros? The answer is yes. On the 9th of June 2023, the Gauteng Department of Community Safety held an MEC-MMC meeting and law enforcement agencies, that is SAPS, JMPD, EMPD, TMPD, were part of this meeting. A report on crime prevention warden was presented by the Gauteng Department of Community Safety, and stakeholders welcomed the introduction of the Crime Prevention Wardens initiative and committed to cooperate and work with them. In terms of your last question, who will be liable in the event of crime prevention orders acting in breach of their duties? The answer is, in the event of litigation, the Department of Community Safety, as the employer, will assume the liability for such claims. In mitigating the litigation exposure and ensuring that crime prevention orders operate within the confines of the law, the department employs continuous awareness sessions in order to teach the wardens various legislative framework, departmental policies, and business processes that guide their area of work. It should be emphasized that at this present moment, because we still take them as continuous training, the crime prevention orders only work under the supervision of either the law enforcement agencies, the SAPS, or the municipal police or traffic police. They don't work on their own, thus having a minimum in ensuring that they can be litigated until they are fully trained and they can stand on their own. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you once more, Honourable Premier. Honourable Member Alberts, you may pose a supplementary question or make a short remark.
Thank you, Acting Chair, and thank you for the answer, Premier. Yes, I would just like to give a timeline that the Premier asked for in terms of the budget, indication of the budget since the start of the project up to date, if he can give us a budget and from where it was appropriated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Member Alberts. Any Honourable Member who may want to make a supplementary question or make a short remark? None. Thank you. Premier, I don't know if maybe you would want to, may you please respond to Honourable Member?
Thank you so much, Acting Speaker, and thank you so much, Member Alberts. The amount of training, it's 750 million that was allocated, and it was appropriated during the budget adjustment that was tabled by the MEC responsible for finance. Thanks, Acting Speaker.
Thank you once again, Honourable Premier. Can we now go to the next question by Honourable Member P. Makwala? Honourable Member Makwala.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker.
You may proceed.
With regards to the Premier's SOPA and his strategy to tackle crime in the province, a commitment was made that as of the 1st of April 2023, the residents of Gauteng will see the commencement of high-tech face and car recognition CCTV cameras, as well as 400 new police cars, which will be active in our communities across the province from the 1st of May 2023. With this in mind, can the Premier respond to the following questions? 1. Provide an update with regards to the 400 patrol vehicles promised to the different wards of the province, as well as the drones and panic buttons. In your update, please indicate how many patrol vehicles are provided per region and who is responsible for the safekeeping of these working tools to ensure that they are not being abused by greedy and selfish politicians of the ruling party. 2. What are the terms of appointment for the crime prevention wardens? In your response, please explain their jurisdiction, scope, their line of reporting, accounting, as well as mandate, because they seem to be operating on an unlimited scope. 3. Which regulatory body or council is tasked with conducting an oversight over these wardens? In your response, please also indicate where exactly can the residents of Gauteng report any misconduct or unprofessionalism in an event that they abuse their powers, if they have got any end. 4. What monitoring and evaluation tools are being put in place to assess their effectiveness and success in the fight against crime in the province? Please indicate the time frames for their performance evaluations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Member Makwala. Honourable Premier. Please respond.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker, and thank you so much, Member Makwala, for your question. But I must put it on record, Acting Speaker, that this question doesn't qualify to be an oral question. It's quite detailed, and I'll take time to respond to it. And I don't want to be accused of avoiding it, but it was better suited as a written question rather than an oral question. And I'm not sure if Member Makwala knows the difference between an oral question and a written question. But I'll continue to do that. And my apologies, because
you can teach me, Premier. You can teach me.
I'm willing to teach you, but MEC Madome Chiluan is better positioned because it's in the Department of Education.
Deploy him to come and teach me.
Yeah, deployment happens by CIC in your party, so I'm not sure whether I can do that. But let me proceed, Chair, and I'm sorry that I'm going to take long because it's quite a detailed question. I would have preferred to be a written question so that I can just hand over the written answer. Now that I'm asked, I'm going to attempt to move with speed to answer the question. With regards to your first question, where you ask us to give an update on the 400 patrol questions, 400 patrol vehicles, we can confirm that we are happy to report that we're already seeing the fruits of the hard work being done by the crime prevention wardens in partnership with law enforcement agencies in the province. It was only during the State of the Province address that we committed to have 400 cars. As I'm speaking to you now, we've purchased 220 new vehicles, and we've added over 75 new cars to the police, that is SAPS, and have also donated 12 mobile police stations to the SAPS. So we have met our commitment, and we will easily surpass the 400 patrol vehicles as promised. We are also happy that the crime prevention wardens are no longer a theory. They are practice, and they are practically in our communities, and our communities can see them. Didn't make a commitment that we'll have 6,000 people and we're failing to have the 6,000 people. Our crime prevention wardens are currently operating under the supervision of other law enforcement agents. They don't operate on their own, and I want to emphasize that point. Until they meet certain criteria of crime prevention, they are always under the supervision of other law enforcement agents, inclusive of the SAPS, the Gauteng Traffic, and local authorities. I want to highlight the detailed deployment for each of the corridors as per your question. In terms of Eastern Corridor, we have deployed 1,467 crime prevention orders in this corridor, and we have equipped them with 44 new vehicles, inclusive of BMW X3, BMW 320, BMW 220, and VW Caravans. From this corridor, through the crime stats collected through arrests from April to June, we can report that 3 major crimes related to drugs, which accounts for 53%, undocumented foreign nationals that were arrested accounted to 25%, closure of unlicensed liquor trade accounted to 10%. Other assets have also included possession of dangerous weapons, unlicensed firearms, possession of stolen property, and counterfeit goods that were retrieved by our law enforcement agencies led by our crime prevention orders. They've also conducted and arrested people that were doing drunken driving, and they also arrested those that were assaulting others. 33% of these cases have already been taken to court, while 19% are convicted and people have been sentenced to prison thanks to the work of the crime prevention wardens. Of the 33% of cases that were handled by the crime prevention wardens, 19% of identified criminals have been convicted and sentenced to jail thanks to the work of the crime prevention wardens in the Eastern Corridor. In the Southern Corridor, in this corridor, we have deployed 740 crime prevention wardens, and they are equipped with 41 vehicles, inclusive of BMW X3, BMW 3 Series, BMW 2 Series, BMW 1 Series, and VW caravans. From this corridor, through the crime stats collected through arrests from April to June this year, we can report of 3 major crime-related incidents that were passed by our crime wardens, which includes drugs, which is 25%, arrest of illegal immigrants, 22%, arrest of those that were selling cigarettes illegally or illicit cigarettes, which accounts for 15%. Other arrests also included trading without a liquor license, driving under the influence of alcohol, as well as sexual offenses. We are happy to report that in this corridor, we have also trained and started deploying crime prevention orders in some specialized teams for anti-land invasion and critical infrastructure policing. In terms of the Western Corridor, we have thus been able to deploy 558 crime prevention wardens in this corridor, and they are equipped with 38 vehicles, which is BMW X3, BMW 3 Series, BMW 2 Series, BMW 1 Series, and VW caravans. From this corridor, the crime stats collected through arrests of criminals from April to June indicates that 39% was related to undocumented foreigners, 27% was illegal mining, and 9% was drunken driving, and majority of the cases have been enrolled with the courts for sentencing. In terms of Central Corridor, in this corridor, we have thus far been able to deploy 196 crime prevention orders. We've equipped them with 38 vehicles, inclusive of BMW X3, BMW 3 Series, and VW caravans. From this corridor, through the crime stats collected during this period, we can report that 40% was related to drugs, 22% illegal immigrants, and 10% was drunken driving. Other arrests have also included possession of unlicensed firearms, assault GBH, and selling liquor without license. In the Northern Corridor, we have thus been able to deploy 1,221 crime prevention wardens in this corridor. We've equipped them with 41 vehicles, inclusive of BMW X3, BMW 320, BMW 220, and VW caravans. We are still collecting data from this corridor regarding the major crimes, and once validated, we'll also share it like other corridors. As indicated earlier, the provincial government has also procured 50 high-speed vehicles that have been donated to the police so that they can patrol our highways, and have also donated 12 mobile police stations so that they can be utilized in informal settlement. By the 28th of July, the Department of Community Safety has distributed 1,000 push-to-talk devices, with each corridor receiving 200. We've also trained all the supervisors on how to use the push-to-talk. We are on track with training drone pilots from cohorts of the crime prevention wardens. 7 of our students have passed the theory and are finalizing practicals and orals, while 16 are due to write the exams on the 3rd of August 2023. Presently, drones are used in Okaimola operations and other joint enforcement operations. The usage of drones during these operations has helped monitor dangerous areas where drones will be deployed to monitor the area to assist with activating resources on the ground. Our drones are currently being used by law enforcement agencies in Revele, Gauteng illegal mining, hostels, and informal settlements. The e-panic button application went live on Google and iOS stores on 28 March 2023. There is a process being piloted with our staff members. The targeted audience was 8,000 GPG staff members with special focus on education, health, and e-government. These e-panic buttons are meant to assist our health workers, especially those that are driving ambulances, our educators, so that if they are under attack, they can press the e-panic button. The e-panic button is still on pilot mode, and thus far, 5,700 staff members have downloaded the app And the impact of the e-panic button resulted in the following incident of preventing 478 armed response and also taking 326 people to hospitals after they've pressed the panic button. In terms of question 2, what are the terms of appointment of the crime prevention warders? The crime prevention warders are recruited from their communities to achieve what the 5-year policing policy, National Development Plan, the Integrated Crime and Violence Prevention Strategy, and the Growing Gauteng Together 2030. The crime prevention warders are force multipliers to existing law enforcement and will strengthen both the visible policing and human capacity within law enforcement while operating at the ward level. The crime prevention wardens report directly to the Department of Community Safety. Their term of appointment as well as jurisdiction must be understood within the broader aims, objectives, and policies of the Republic. And these are the areas in which they derive their powers. Section 2063 of the Constitution is entitled each province to 1, monitor police conduct, oversee the effectiveness of efficiency of the police, promote good relations, assess the effectiveness of visible policing, and liaise with cabinet member responsible for policing. The Civil Secretariat for Police Act 2 of 2011 established the Office of the Provincial Secretariat, which promote community policing relations, establish and promote partnership, and manage the enhancement of community structures within the police. The White Paper on Safety and Security 2016 sets out strategic priorities to deal with crime and set out the roles and responsibilities of various role players in the safety and security sphere. The NDP also proposes an integrated approach to building safer communities. To achieve this, South Africa will have to mobilize state and non-state capacities at all levels, which requires an integrated approach with active citizens' involvement and co-responsibility. The integrated crime and violence prevention strategy sets out a comprehensive collaborative way for the whole of government and society approach to crime and violence prevention. The Growing Gauteng 2030 5-year policing plan is informed by the oversight work of the Department of Community Safety in line with Section 2063D of the Constitution, which empowers the province to assess the effectiveness of visible policing. The policing plan was approved by the Executive Council in 2019. Crime preventions are informed by all these legal and policy documents. In particular, it recognizes the safety as not only the responsibilities of SAPS alone, as is echoed through advocating for a whole government and a whole of society integrated approach to crime and violence prevention. Concurrently, the province is also looking to develop a community safety bill and a community safety policy, which will encompass community crime prevention warders, traffic police, patrollers, youth brigades, and other patrollers that are assisting us in the fight against GBV. In terms of question 3, which the regulatory body council is tasked with conducting an oversight over these wardens, you will refer to question 2 above that I've just responded, including question 4. I'm really sorry, Comrade Acting Speaker, to take this long, but that was a detailed answer to detailed questions that I thought that it would have been better placed if it was a written question rather than an oral question. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you once more, Honourable Premier, for such a very comprehensive reply. Just before I call upon Honourable Member Makwala, Honourable Chair of Committees, may I graciously request that you assent to the floor to take over the proceeding. Honourable Member Makwala, would you want to pose a supplementary question or make a short remark?
It's just to, Honourable Acting Speaker, it's just to mention that this electioneering campaign of the Premier, Amapanya Panya, we as the ESFS, we take over power next year. We are going to remove them, and there is no one who's going to save them.
When I'm sure to be there now, Piago Lotus Gardens. Take power away, Mara.
Can we be in order, members?
Selo apatela obade ni base.
Kitsuba le papa o ka mo Lotus le seo. Kitsuba le papa o mo le bridging.
Are you done, Honorable Member Makwala?
No, I'm not done. I'm still responding to Lucille. I'm smoking nyaope with his father here by the bridge in Lotus.
Please pose your supplementary question or make a short remark, please.
Thanks, Acting Speaker. I don't think that deserves an answer from me. I want to thank you, Acting Speaker, for the opportunity. Really appreciate members for the questions that they've raised. Thank you so much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier, once again. Can we now go to the second item? Questions to members of the Executive Council for oral reply in terms of Rule 134. Honorable Member B. McKenna, you may pose your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. The Tembisa Tertiary Hospital is reportedly experiencing medicine shortages, which for the last few months has seen this hospital running low of critical medicines to treat conditions like bipolar, epilepsy, and high blood pressure, just to mention a few. With this in mind, would the MEC please respond to the following questions? What guarantee can the MEC provide the residents of Gauteng that the health of patient was not compromised by the less than ideal medicine substitutions that were provided to patients during the shortages of these critical medicines? In your response, please indicate if there was never even a single complaint from patients and immediate family members after these substitute medicines were dispensed. In terms of the measures put in place, what exactly do these measures entail, considering the inconsistent supply of medication over the years? In your response, please indicate if these measures will forever alleviate medicine shortages in the province, and Gauteng will never experience this challenge again. Regarding these medicine shortages, did the suppliers communicate with the department that these challenges they are experiencing around stock availability or delay? In your response, please provide the specific reason the supplier provided to their failure to supply the specific medications. How many patients were affected by these shortages of medicine during the period in question? In your response, please reveal how many patients continue to default, if any, even after substitute medicine was arranged. And what are the likely long-term effects could this cause to the patients? And will the department agree here today that the public health care facilities such as hospitals are mostly used by the poor black majority, and failure to supply medication as required is the same as committing murder? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member McKenna. I now call upon Honorable MEC for Health and Wellness, MEC Pomraloko.
Thanks. If you suffer from bipolar and you don't get the correct medicine,
can you be in order, member? As the MEC replies to your question.
No, you are lying.
Please
Let
don't
me tell you the answer. You are lying, and I don't know this obsession and now about Tembisa, because that's not true. That's not true, man. He says.
Honorable Member, can we
this person that is lying to the House?
Let's be orderly, please.
Speaking the earlier one here, what that was doing a member statement, that was not true. I hate what people are saying, Go to Tembisa. I will take you
It's
there.
fine, don't use your emotions.
I
And
will
don't
take
say
you
nca
there,
to
and
me.
I'm not emotional.
Umntwana, don't say nca to me. I
I'm
can also
not
respond like
emotional,
that.
but I'm just irritated about the people
You
that
don't
lie.
have to be irritated.
Member McKenna,
Because
Just
please.
answer the
Shouldn't
question.
have
Member
gone and
McKenna.
verified
Don't say
before
nca
you-
to me. I can
Member
also respond
McKenna.
like that.
Now ungumntu omdala oqoqayo,
Member McKenna,
man.
can you be in
Ngifana
order?
nawe.
Hayi,
Bebana.
uligqirha noba ligqirha.
Member McKenna.
Akuthenyi.
Member
Akuthenyi.
McKenna.
Bebana.
Uligqirha eliqoqayo.
Don't talk to me like that.
Can you be in
Do
order?
not.
Let me answer
I can
this
also respond
person
like that.
MEC,
oqoqayo.
please answer, please reply to the question.
The first response is that the medication given to the patient.
Speaker.
Tulani Mamela.
Speaker.
The medication given to the patient was not substandard and not different medication.
On the point of order.
Hold on, MEC, what is that all about?
Chair, the MEC should know
On-
better
on-
than to use
on-
call
member-
another member
On
a liar.
what rule are you raising?
89(1).
Is there a point of order?
Yes, Chair.
You may raise
that. The MEC should know better than to call another member a liar in this House. Please, can she withdraw that statement?
I'm not going to do that.
Thank you, Honourable
I'm
Member.
not going
I
to
didn't
do
hear
that.
that. I think we'll make a reference to the
The
appropriate
member
committee
is
and
not
respond
telling
later.
the truth. The member is not telling the truth.
MEC.
But
Please reply, continue with
Thank
your
you,
reply
Chair.
to the question.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. The first question.
I did not.
Uzakufa kanjani mawusenza so?
MEC, please. MEC, please proceed.
Thank you, Acting Chair. The first answer is that the medication given to the patients was not substandard and not different medication. Zakubetha ke wena ke. Zakubetha utsho ngobuso ngathi impuku nje. Uyathula ke wena ke mpukwazana. The medication given to the patient was not substandard and not different medication. The patient was given, it was 12.5 mg strength of hydrochloroquine to take 2 tablets that make 25 milligram of that. And she might have been used to the patient is used to a pink tablet. But in this case, she was given. Hey, Wena. You little thing. You little thing.
Can you please focus, MEC?
She might have been. Nzokushaya wena, nzokushaya mina ke. Is up. Is up. Is ala. Asambe siyopuzitiye. Akezela.
MEC.
Uchomi yakho emhlophe.
MEC.
So uchomene nabantu abamhlophe manje wena.
MEC, can you please focus on your reply?
She must withdraw that statement.
Are you done?
No. Let's not do that. Let's not allow this house to degenerate.
Honourable members.
Let's not allow this house to degenerate. Please.
Honourable members, yeah.
Uzongitshela irule, I'm not.
Honourable MEC.
Ngizokushaya naye lowo.
Honourable MEC.
Ngizokushaya naye lowo.
Honourable MEC. May you please withdraw that statement, please?
What must I withdraw, Chair? Uthi ndenze? Hayibo, umuntu mayengekho mhlophe akakho mhlophe, Chair.
Honourable MEC.
Umnyama yena, umnyama la sisi.
Honourable MEC.
La sisi umnyama na Chair kala mandibuze.
Honourable MEC.
Umnyama na.
Honourable MEC.
Umhlophe akakho mnyama and it will never change.
Honourable MEC.
Umnyama yena umhlophe. I am not going to withdraw that.
Honourable MEC.
I'm not. She has never been black. She will remain white. She has never been black.
Honourable MEC.
I can't lie.
Honourable
A
MEC.
black person and a white person here in the house is there. That's a white little girl.
Honourable MEC.
I'm not, Chair. I am not going to withdraw. No. I will never.
Honorable
She's not
MEC.
an African, that girl.
No,
She's a white
please.
girl.
Honorable MEC. Please. Honorable MEC, with all due respect, with the greatest respect,
Chair, because you are saying that I'm withdrawing because of you.
Honorable MEC.
Chair, I'm withdrawing because of you, not because of her.
Okay, thank you very much. The statement is withdrawn. You may proceed, MEC. Thank you.
Chair. Thank you, Chair. And then in South Africa, medicines are licensed, Chair, and they are registered and are regulated by the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority and a high scientific standard of efficacy and quality. The second answer, Chair, is in the recent past, Tembisa Hospital has not run out of medicines. All institutions are supplied with medication from the same medical depot that we have in the province, and medicines that are manufactured, there are some of them. And medical supply depot has not run out of bipolar medication, epileptic medication, hypertensive medication in the past financial year to date, Chair. Measures that I put in place for Tembisa hospitals are as follows. Stock is ordered and received weekly from medical suppliers depot. Stock is ordered for a period of 6 weeks at a time. Buyouts are done where contracted suppliers may not be able to supply. In the event of temporal stock out of one hospital, stock may be ordered from the medical suppliers depot or an agent basis as per SLA. We take the medication, if we don't have a Tembisa, to another neighboring hospital. It will be Edenvale and other hospitals. So at no stage that will ever run out of medication, by the way. The third response is that Tembisa Hospital Pharmacy has not run out of hypertensive bipolar, as I've indicated earlier on. And we have that SLA that we have done. And suppliers are contracted again to National Department of Health to supply medicines to provinces and communicate with the depot regarding challenges faced. So stock out, regarding challenges like stock out due to lack of raw material, logistic challenges or imports. So there is that link in the communication and a dashboard that indicates which medication do we have and the ones that are going to run off stock. And we monitor medication so that we know that this one maybe next week will not be having it. We make means so that even at the depot we have those medications. And on a weekly basis, I go to Tembisa personally, Chair, because Tembisa has been our project in terms of checking everything. I even go to the pharmacy because the pharmacy is the first area I go to because we are implementing now the queue management in this pharmacy. Hence, I know that it's not true that there is no medication in Tembisa because I have been there on a weekly basis to monitor that hospital. Then the fourth answer, Chair Angaqet, the fourth answer, the province has not run out of these medicines, as Usisi was saying, member. No patients were affected in Tembisa. Again, in that pharmacy, it's the same reputation of what she asked me. The last one, the majority of patients served in Tembisa pharmacy are indeed black patients. I'm not going to withdraw on that one because the member was specific. There are indeed black patients, which we call them Africans, is in the majority there. Due to the area where Tembisa is located, it's in the deep township area. He teach kahle kahle. And we have never run out of the vital and essential medicines for the conditions mentioned above. Again, and we pride ourselves with the Batupili principles that we are implementing now in that hospital that is in the township. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MEC. Honourable Member McKenna, do you want to pose a supplementary question? Short. Okay, no, thank you. Can we now go to the second question? Thank you. Can we now go to the next question? Honorable Member El Masoleng. Masoleng, your question to Member of the Executive Council for Roads and Transport. Member Masoleng. Member Masoleng, do you still want to pose a question?
With regards to the department's post-budget vote hosting of a gala dinner at Galaga Estate, under the guise of a dinner serving as an inclusive gathering for various stakeholders in terms of the department exercising its duties of stakeholder engagement. Will the MEC please respond to the following questions? Number one, how much in rent and cents did the department spend in hosting the gala dinner at Galaga Estate? In your response, please indicate the cost of the venue, catering, beverages, transport, and other related costs. Number two, what led to the department to host this gala dinner immediately after the budget vote debates? In your response, please indicate why did the department fashion this dinner as a stakeholder engagement event, and who were invited to the event? Provide a list of invited guests. Number three, what successes did the gala dinner achieve in terms of stakeholder engagement? In your response, please list such successes, if any. Number four, further to the above, why did the department resort to such a lavish stakeholder engagement when cost containment measures exist for a more moderate stakeholder engagement programs and ensuring far more stakeholders are reached than organizing such a dinner? And number five, from which budget allocation and departmental program was this gala dinner funded? In your response, please indicate a specific APP that was voted and allowed to host the lavish stakeholder gala dinner.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I now call upon Honourable MEC K. Dialetabela to reply.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Speaker, and good morning to honourable members in the House. Speaker, let me, in responding to question one, the department planned to engage around 300 stakeholders coming from different regions in Tshwane, and the following is the breakdown, the budgetary breakdown for the event. The master of ceremonies, which were two young black women from the townships in Gauteng. Entertainment was by a local cultural group from a township in Gauteng, a local DJ, a young black man from a township in Gauteng, as well as we incurred costs for communication and marketing of the event. And this also includes promotional material for the event. The venue hired, catering for 300 people, and this costed the department around 390,000. Question two, what led to the department hosting the dinner immediately after the budget vote debate? The budget vote speech and debate does not accommodate all the key stakeholders within the Department of Roads and Transport and its entities. Honourable Masoleng, you will note that we as a department work with various stakeholders. This is ranged from the public transport industry. This includes the bus operators, the taxi operators, and the e-hailing operators, as well as different community-based organizations, that is women in transport, women in public transport. There's a difference there. We also have invited, as part of our intergovernmental relations, MMCs of transport, roads and transport in different municipalities that we have in Gauteng, as well as officials within those municipalities. I clarified to you that we invited the transport operators. We also invited you as a member of the portfolio committee that oversees this role in the GPG, as well as commuter associations that we work with, including the transport entities around and that are in Gauteng. Question 3, we have attached the list. Like I said, we planned for around 300 invitees, and the list clarifies that. What success is this? Like I said, your question 3, as I responded to question 2, we work with various stakeholders. Department of Roads and Transport is Department of Roads and Transport with 3 entities. There is the G-Fleet, the Gauteng Management Agency, as well as the Transport Authority of Gauteng. So we also invited the insurance brokers that are within our province. And if you were there, you would have seen that this was an opportunity we used to engage these various stakeholders on what we have presented to the House on the 26th of May. And I tell you now, it has yielded a lot of results. There's commitment from some of the insurance brokers to partner with us and ensure that we implement our 6,000 EPWP job opportunities, as well as us being able to have a structured way of engaging these various stakeholders, such as the taxi industry and the bus operators in our province. On your question 4, lavish, I think it's a wrong word to use. You should have used a different word, honorable member. We just, in any dinner event, there's a dress code, and the dress code was people must wear, if they have a black attire with turkeys. So I don't understand what you mean lavish. The theme was a township theme where we ate our traditional food as Africans. So there's nothing lavish about being African, honorable member. Your last question, the costs were incurred through our stakeholder engagement budget as the department and the entities. Thank you very much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Tabela. Honorable Member Masule, do you want to pose a supplementary question or short remark?
The MEC is not telling the truth here. The list of the attendees is not attached. And we want to know exactly who was nominated to cater for this gala dinner. That is not specified.
Okay, MEC, please respond.
We will send the list to Honorable Masoleng. We didn't nominate anyone. We invited various stakeholders. I don't know what does she mean nomination. We invited various stakeholders. The list has the taxi industry in Gauteng. We've got 2 associations. Unless, Speaker, you want me to go through the list, but the list was supposed to be attached. I have it before me, and we can finish, Honorable Masoleng, with the list.
Honorable MEC, thank you very much. May I suggest that you submit that for attention than to go through that list now. May I now call upon Honorable Member Badenhorst to pose your question directed to member of the Executive Council for Infrastructure.
Thank you, Speaker. Let me just get to the question. Why this thing don't want to open now? Okay, I've got it.
Honorable Member, please don't allow yourself to be defocused. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. To the MEC of Infrastructure, the explosions that are occurring in the province of Gauteng were the recent one that happened in the CBD and which can also be characterized as a disaster, must have been an eye-opener to the people of Gauteng to show that the ANC-led government does not have a comprehensive plan to curb disasters of such magnitude and nature. The department, as the custodian of government, infrastructure, and being tasked with managing the full life cycle of fixed property owned by the GPG, will the MEC please respond to the following questions? Does all the buildings of housing in the Gauteng government department still have structural integrity because of the underground explosions that have recently occurred? In your response, please indicate when was the last time structural assessments were done at all the government buildings? Number two, are there measures in place to curb gas leakages that can lead to gas explosions and poisoning around the vicinity where government departments are situated? In your response, please indicate what are the measures put in place to stop water leakages in the underground parking area of the legislature, which might compromise the integrity of the structure. And number three, are there any comprehensive plans or measures put in place to inspect and fix all the underground infrastructure of the GPG departments to ensure that such disaster does not occur in the near future? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member Badenhorst. Honourable Members, in accordance with the standing rules, it has been brought to my attention that MEC Maila is encountering connectivity problem, and Honourable MEC Kumalo will stand in for him. Honourable MEC Kumalo.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker, and thank you very much, Member Badenhorst, for your questions. In terms of Roman figure 1, our response is, in the event of explosions like in the incident referred to, activity that impacts structures is normally seismic wave. According to study.com, seismic waves are caused by a sudden movement of materials within the earth, such as slip along a fault during an earthquake. Volcanic eruptions, explosions, landslides, avalanches, and even rushing rivers can also cause seismic. The effect of seismic events can shake buildings. Competent authorities of geotechnical matters, including seismic events, is the Council for Geoscience. Following the Johannesburg CBD explosion, DID consulted with CGS, who confirmed that no seismic activity was registered in relation to this incident. The incident was not of a magnitude that posed a direct impact to building outside direct impact radius. No damage was registered on DID building or those housing GPG business activities. The GPG building in the CBD were subjected to holistic conditions assessment from 2018, and some were done within the last 24 months. With respect to Roman figure 2, maintenance of the legislature building, including its parking, is a responsibility of the legislature through the Office of the Speaker, and they will be in a better position to respond to this matter. In line with municipal bylaws and other prescribed, DID mandate with regard to fixed asset is limited to within the property. In terms of municipal bylaws, service providers for water, Joburg Water and Water for electricity, Eskom City Power for gas, Egoli Gas, Sasol Exerta, Optic Fiber, and various providers, and diesel and petrol are allowed to run their infrastructure within the municipal space and other road reserves per servitude agreement, including the maintenance arrangement thereof. The City of Johannesburg attributes exploration to methane gas, of which the original source is not yet confirmed or determined. In instances where there's water challenges into DID basements, investigation were conducted, including engagement with Joburg Water, whose failing infrastructure was proven to be the source in some instances, and Johannesburg Water did stop the leaks. Roman figure 3, DID does not have infrastructure for gas and other services traversing the CBD or municipal space in the CBD. However, with regard to the infrastructure within DID properties, they are addressed as part of the maintenance to keep them functional. Where such is owned by other agencies like Sasomas, owned by the City Power, the department engages such agency to ensure they do their maintenance and avert unintended consequences. Thank you very much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Kumalo, on behalf of MEC Maile. Honorable Member Badenhorst, do you have a supplementary question or a short remark that you want to make?
I've got a remark. You know, it amazes me that when there's explosions like this, gas that was exploded now a few weeks ago in Joburg, that the MEC can answer and say that those explosions does not belong to DID because this is infrastructure that were blown up. So how is it possible that they cannot do oversight over such things? Because for the past 30 years that went past, it means these things were never ever looked at. They were never ever inspected. So how can you still come and say it's not your problem when you are in charge of Gauteng? It's not your problem. It is your problem, MEC, because a lot of people could have died if it was like a magnitude. But luckily, you must thank God that it was not at that magnitude that this explosion occurred. Otherwise, you would have been in trouble. Thank you. Chair.
Thank you, Member. Honorable MEC, do you want to comment?
Thank you very much. It's interesting that Member Badenhorst asked me a question and answers herself. That's the first thing. But the second thing, we've never said it's not our problem. We made factual statements as to what belongs to who. Things are demarcated within the government strata. If a matter belongs to Johannesburg or infrastructure belongs to Johannesburg, it belongs to Johannesburg. I can't say it belongs to us. However, we work together with Johannesburg to deal with matters of such nature. Thank you very much, Acting Speaker.
Thank you once more, Honorable MEC Kumalo. The next question will be directed to MEC for Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation by Honorable Member Mukwebo.
Thanks, Acting Speaker. With regards to demolition and construction of HM Beach Stadium in Tshwane, MEC, please respond to the following questions. 1, how much was allocated for construction of this stadium? 2, MEC, please provide the cost for demolition of the same stadium and the current cost of building the same stadium. Thanks, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member Mukwebo. Honorable MEC Musute.
Thank you very much, House Chair, for the opportunity, and thank you very much, Honorable Mukwebo, for the question. Though it's misdirected, I will try to respond. So in response to your first question, the implementing agent is the one that needs to recover the monies lost because the client department is not a party to contracts between the implementing agent, the contractors, or the PSP involved in a project. Responding to your second question, in a construction contract where the end product is to build and in process, it is then found that quality of work is substandard, the contractor is responsible to demolish and rebuild with their own costs. Recovery of monies lost is in either construction or demolition of the HMP can be recovered from both contractor and PSP through the implementing agent. That's the operative word, implementing agent. To date, the implementing agent has mentioned that they are still to receive records of the insurances and construction guarantees of the said stadium. And that's the reason why they have not as yet been able to recover the monies. The department is therefore requesting humbly that the question be referred to the implementing agent. Ke a leboga.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC Musute. Honorable Member Mukwebo, any supplementary question?
No, thanks.
Speaker, Acting Speaker.
Sorry, thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. What is that all about?
Thank you. I rise on 13742 as the MEC, maybe additional questions. Maybe for asking the MEC, Honorable Mzi, don't comment about Mfuleni. You still owe me replies. I want those replies. Stop complaining, stop mentioning Mfuleni. Honorable MEC, as a client department, just need to check, are you aware whether the service providers and its directors have been blacklisted? If they've not been blacklisted, why haven't they been blacklisted after butchering this project? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable MEC, please respond to the supplementary question.
Thank you very much, House Chair, for the opportunity. Okay, according to procedure, that is a new question. So the member must just write it as such, and then it will be responded to. However, again, it must be directed at the correct implementing agent. Thank you. No, process is process.
Hotline department, hotline department,
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Now we go into written questions for oral explanations and tabling in the House in terms of Rule 137, Sub-Rule 5. Honorable members, in terms of Rule 137, Sub-Rule 5 of the Standing Rules for Gauteng Provincial Legislature, which reads as follows, I quote, if a question for a written reply is not replied to within the stipulated time frame and no extension is requested by a member of the Executive Council, during the next question day, the relevant member of the Executive Council must provide an oral explanation in the House for his or her failure to reply to the questions and still hand over the written reply to the table, close quotes. MECs are kindly requested not to reply to the question, but to provide an oral explanation for his or her failure to the question, failure to reply to the question, and for what the reply to the question to the table, close quote. Can I now, MEC for Community Safety, I call upon MEC for Community Safety.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
MEC for Community Safety, can you please give an oral explanation as to why questions 5 PS 35 036 037 038 39 034 40 041 042 043 044 045 046 047 048 and 049 were not responded to. MEC must kindly explain to the House why those questions were not responded to, including question 5 PS 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, up until 49. I now call upon MEC for Health and Wellness to give an oral explanation.
Health or safety?
Honorable MEC for Health, please give oral explanation.
I'm standing on the point of rule number 89, point of order. Point of order, ne? Order on him.
MEC for Health and Wellness. Honourable members, these questions are not going to go off the order paper and questions until they are accounted for by the MECs.
Thank you.
Is it not MEC for public safety, sir?
MEC for Cooperative Governance, Traditional Affairs, Research and Development, MEC Kumalo.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Are they responding here? We can't hear anything.
Chair, these are a question that depends on the municipalities, many of them, in fact all of them in front of us. And at the time of submission, the municipalities has not, at the time of submission, the municipalities have not answered. We are following up with municipalities.
Sorry, my apology. MEC Dialetabela, you are disrupting the meeting. You may proceed.
No, it's
Honourable
not
MEC, you may proceed.
Yeah. We are following up with we are following up with municipalities, and we duly want to apologize to all the members, to the House first, and to all the members who asked these questions. We will ensure that in the next cycle of questions they will be answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MEC. Does that also MEC Kumalo? MEC Kumalo? Does that also account for eGov? Can you please account for eGov?
Thank you very much, Chair. On the eGov, at the point when we were to submit our answer, new information was brought before my kind self, and we are working to verify that new information, and therefore we could not meet the deadline, and we want to apologize, but the question will be submitted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MEC Kumalo. I'm reliably informed that MEC for Health was on the line and was about to give an account. Can we go back to her? MEC Nkomraloko. MEC for Community Safety. Okay, let's proceed. MEC for Social Development.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's have order, please.
The questions have been responded to and submitted accordingly. Part of the delays was because of the internal information that needed to be collected, and it required quite a number of individuals to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you, MEC Ntope. MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development and Environment.
It is the same, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reshuffle Panyazam.
Honourable members, let me seize this moment to thank all of you for honoring this August sitting and for your participation and positive contribution. This brings us to the end of our session today, and the next sitting will be on the 31st of August 2023 at 10, and the sitting stands adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Malima. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Chair.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Well done,
Thank you,
Malima.
teacher. Bye-bye, everyone. Huh?